Thank you for responding. Okay, good morning, class. We begin with the chapter which we began yesterday, human resources, and we completed the till densely populated areas. In the previous headings, we talked about how the human population can act as a major resource for the working of the uh, natural resources, for extracting and using natural resources. And we know that the population of a country turns into a human resource if it is educated, motivated, skilled, and hardworking. And then we talked of the distribution of population, which is very uneven throughout the world. Obviously, the places which are comfortable, which are having easy supply of food and water, will be more thickly populated than the places, say, on the mountains or in the desert areas. So we yesterday talked about the densely populated areas. And now we come on to the second category into which the world is together divided. And the three headings are the densely populated areas, the moderately populated areas, and the sparsely populated areas. So we finished the densely populated areas. We know about the various areas or places which are very thickly populated. So now we come on to the moderately populated areas. Now the delta of river valleys, central part of USA, tropical West Africa, southern part of Russia, Eastern Europe, Deccan Plateau of India, central China, and some parts of South America have a moderate density of population. In these areas, favorable natural and economic factors attract people from other regions. So now, like the densely populated areas are those areas where agriculture and water supply is in prominence. So the life is quite comfortable. There are plains, no mountains and other things. So they are more densely populated. Then the moderately populated areas, they are mostly and most of the times those areas which are economically very sound. That means those areas from where you can fetch a lot of money. Okay, economically they are very strong. Maybe there are big industries there, it's an industrial area, or there could be many uh, setups which are very beneficial as a job, for a job point of view. So in these areas, the natural and economic factors, they attract the people. Okay, and that is why they are moderately populated. Like in India, we talk of the Deccan Plateau of India. Okay, then we come on to the sparsely populated areas. Here they have very specifically told you the hot deserts, the cold deserts, and the high mountainous areas are sparsely populated due to the condition of physical environment. We all know that the physical factors play a very important role. Nobody would like to live in a hot or a cold desert, or for that matter, on high mountains, especially as climates are not suitable for human habitation, where the development of resources is not possible. Now, the Sahara, Kalahari, hot desert in Africa, Arabian Gobi, Thar deserts, etc. In Asia, the polar lands of Antarctica in the south and the tundra regions in the north are thickly forested regions of Amazon basin, the Zaire and Congo basin, etc., are sparsely populated due to the unfavorable climatic conditions. Over 70% of the land surface is sparsely populated. That means very less people are living there. So they have given you the names of the deserts, Sahara, Kalahari. These are the deserts in Africa. Then Arabian desert, then Gobi, Thar desert in India. This then the polar lands, that means the places next to the North Pole and South Pole. So those are called polar lands. So what are those polar lands? The tundra regions of in the north, and Antarctica. The whole continent of Antarctica is very thinly populated, sparsely populated because of the coldest zone being there. Okay. Then the Amazon basin, Zaire and Congo basins. These are so thickly forested that living conditions are not possible here. So these are some of the regions which are very sparsely populated, and 70% of the land on earth is very sparsely populated. Now, many more people live north of the equator than south of the equator. You all know that. If you divide the earth, the center portion, the northern hemisphere has more people living than in the southern hemisphere. And why is it? Because northern hemisphere is called the land hemisphere. Most of the continents, they lie in the northern hemisphere. And the southern hemisphere is more of oceans. So it is called the water hemisphere. Leaving Australia and a few portions of say Africa and a little portion of South America, rest all lie in the northern hemisphere. So that is why if you talk of the division of from the equator, there are more people living in the northern side of the equator. Almost 3/4 of the world's people live in two continents, that is Asia and Africa. Then 60% of the world's people are inhabiting in just 10 countries. All of them have more than 100 million people. And here are the list of countries which are full of people and are very thickly populated. The countries are, please underline them and remember them: Japan, Nigeria, Russia, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Brazil, Indonesia, USA, India, and China. Okay, we move further. Now they are telling you, this is very important, the factors affecting distribution of population. Now, what are the factors which affect the distribution of population? Now, we all know there are various geographical factors. Geography means that land, what type of relief feature it has, then the climate of that place, the soil of that place, the water supply, then minerals available, and stage of economic progress. That means what amount of progress that area has made. If it is more progressive, then major people would be settling there. So the first factor would be the geographical factors. Let us quickly see. Several factors affect the distribution of population, such as geographical, social, cultural, and economic factors. No single factor is responsible for the distribution of population, but all factors combinedly influence the distribution of population. So they are telling you that it is not just one single factor, but number of factors play a very important role in the distribution of population. And they have categorized it into 2-3 major headings. One is geographical, that means us jagah ki geography kaisi hai. Then cultural, and then the third is social and cultural, and then fourth is economic factors. Okay, so first we'll take up geographical factors. Now these factors include topography, climate, soil, water, minerals, and stage of economic progress. Let us see the topography or relief. I hope you have understood. This is one factor. It has several sub factors. Let us see the sub factors under geographical factors. Now, the topography or relief, it affects the distribution of population very much, as people prefer to live on plains because there are flat and level lands and are suitable for agriculture development, transport, settlement, and other commercial activities. Mountains always hinder the economic development due to their uneven topography and are sparsely populated. World's most populated agglomeration, such as China, Japan, India, Bangladesh, Europe, and Eastern USA, are all located in plains. The Ganga Plains are the most densely populated areas of the world, whereas Himalayan mountains are sparsely populated. So here they talk of the world, then in the last 2-3 lines, they specifically talk of India also. So they have told you that people would love to settle in the plains and the flatlands, which are more fertile, preferred from the point of view of agriculture, Transport and settlement would be easy. Commercially, they would be more active. Economic development would be more. Then considering the fact that on mountains or in the desert, where the topography is very uneven and also the climate is hot, people would not prefer to live in such areas. Then they would prefer to live in plains. Then they have told you the names of various countries, and they have told you that most of these countries which are very populated, they mostly have their population settling because they are located in plains. And then they specifically talk of India, the northern fertile plains or the Gangetic plains, which are very densely populated areas, and they are one of the most densely populated areas in the world. Whereas they have given a comparison to that from India only with the Himalayan mountains. They are very sparsely populated because of the terrain there, because of the topography there. Next, we talk of the climate. It is the most important factor which affects the population distribution. Areas having temperate climate uh, are densely populated, such as China, Japan, Vietnam, Bangladesh, India, Western Europe, USA, etc. But hot deserts like Sahara, Atacama, Thar Desert, and cold deserts such as Antarctica, North Pole, etc., have very less population due to extreme climate. So again, the climate is very clear to you that the population distribution would be in those areas which have moderate temperature. That is neither too hot nor too cold. And they've given you the names of these places. You are supposed to learn it. Specifically, when they talk of India lying in the moderate region, and that is why it is very densely populated. And at the same time, they have given you the examples of the deserts, which are not favoring the suitable conditions. The climatic conditions are not favorable. They've given the example of Thar Desert from India, and they have also given you the frozen deserts like at Antarctica and the North Pole. That they have also talked of hot deserts like Sahara and Atacama. All these desert areas, whether they be hot deserts or cold deserts, they are not giving uh, the suitable conditions for the population to reside because of the extreme climates they have. Then the third heading is soil. Now, food is the basic need of population. Children, just hold on. There's somebody who's knocking. I need to just go and check. Just a second. Huh? Just let me stop.